Remember how making art as a kid felt like? It was magical. It was never about the quality of work. It was a privilege just to hand paint. We were just happy to be there, to get a chance to play and have fun. We'd go around showing others our work, not in search of validation, but in the spirit of sharing joy. Do you remember the freedom of choice? You could pick any color you wanted, any medium your little heart desired, and work at it to your heart's content. So, what's changed? There's now a dread that surrounds the creation process, a fear that imprisons the soul. When staring at others' creation, you can't help but compare. There's now these imaginary stepping stones. Art is spiritual, it's chaotic, it's free, it's self sustaining, it's unapologetic, it's personal. Maybe we don't know the true meaning of art, or maybe we've forgotten. I recently came across a video titled You Don't Need Talent to Put in the Work. Now, I didn't watch the video because I thought I sufficiently understood the topic. But as time passed, my mind started revolving around the concept of talent. I thought about how every talent I perceived to have came from effort. When I first tried, I was good enough to want to keep trying. My creations weren't anything exceptional compared to the great works of art out there, but I perceived a sort of unfair advantage I possessed. I can't say I was starting from the beginning, neither was I considered talented. I existed in this void of I can if I wanted to, but it would involve effort. That gave me a preview of the kind of person I am to be in this world. There are those who are born with a silver spoon in their mouth, and there are those who have to toil to get what they want. This is how I also view being a creative. And that title of that video brought to my awareness that out there existed a group of people who didn't pursue their creative pursuits because they felt talentless. And hence, I am here, but another voice, ready to speak about it because something has to change. Something has to change. Let's talk about talent. Talent gives you authority in whatever area one pursues. No one questions, no one doubts. Talent is something that shines bright and demands attention. It's really hard to miss, and it can be seen from such an early age that it further cements its own glory. It comes across as graceful, effortless, meant to be. There's little space for questions like, am I good at this? Will I succeed in this? Am I in over my head? Could this be my thing? Will anyone even notice my work? Thoughts like, there's so many talented people out there, I stand no chance. Even if I tried, I probably could never be as good as someone naturally gifted. You see them on the big screens all the time. They're the only ones who get to be on the big screens. They seem to know who they were from the beginning. There's clips, awards, certificates, witnesses, testimonies of their grandeur. How could you ever compete with that? Everything seems to have perfectly worked out to get them to where they are. To have a gift is something so beautiful, sustaining, and inspiring. I'm not saying there's no ups and downs of it. Everything has its troubles, but for sure, questions of belonging and worth are more likely and heavily felt on the other side of the scale. When you feel like you're pretending to be something or someone you're not. Where are your words? Where are the crowds? You have been your only witness. You're not a writer, you just write. You're not a painter, you just paint occasionally. You're not a dancer, you just dance here and there. You're not a singer, you just sing. There's something empowering about that, isn't there? To detach from the title and focus on creation. But when I think about myself, when I'm honest with myself about why I choose to fulfill the title, I know very well it's not only about focusing on the important things, but also a hidden fear of being. I do not have the courage to wear the crown because I feel inadequate. That's why I don't tell people about the things I can do, in fear of judgment, not being seen worthy enough to bear such a title. No one has ever known me as an artist, a creative, so how dare I come out of the woodwork and say this is where my soul resides, that I cannot live without it? But to others, I have been living without it. It's that fear of knowing that you will be judged unfairly no matter what you do. We've seen it, we see it all the time. There's no right answer. Even if you are good, you will be judged unfairly. And that scares me. That it makes me feel powerless to know that I could do everything right and still get like such a horrible judgment at the end of it. There's this sort of unease that crawls through my skin when I hear someone else proudly proclaim themselves to an esteemed title, especially when their work hasn't gotten so much recognition or there's little to their name. It's like a jab to myself. It's almost like I feel the secondhand embarrassment. So I become distrustful of them because I do not have the power in me yet to call out such strength. And instead of working on it, I end up antagonizing the other because it's easier. It's easy to say that's performative than to show up as who I am. I put my own standards of fear and hiding onto someone else. True XYZ aren't busy showcasing themselves, they're busy creating XYZ. Because that's what I'm doing. I'm soothing the ego so that I don't have to change. I don't even have to step into the spotlight and face the criticisms. So what they're performative, what does that have to do with me? Since when am I the police of who's truthful and who's not? I think I should focus more on whether I'm performative or not some stranger out there. Isn't a better strategy of fighting such being a better example? To the point the performative ones end up looking ridiculous. In this world, you need to know outside of the scale you're in and adjust appropriately. You cannot judge yourself by the measures of another. Being talentless doesn't close the gate for you. Not being naturally gifted isn't a bad thing. In fact, it holds no bearing. It simply means you will have to put in more effort than everybody else, and you have to be okay with that. You have to be okay that things won't just fall into your lap like they do for others. You have to be okay with being your only witness. You have to be okay with being your only hype man. Furthermore, the crowds have always been a distraction from what truly matters. You have to be okay with failure. You have to be okay with owning your struggles. To get to have this card in life to me is the best thing ever because there is nothing I have desired that I didn't believe I could get, even if it wasn't natural to me. That is because I learned from an early age that I am to be my own savior. I am to pick up the cross. I got the chance to ferociously apply myself over and over again to something and watch it come to fruition. If you're on this path together with me, I need you to push through. Push through the pain, push through the sadness, push through the fear, push through the doubt, push through because you don't understand how valuable you are. The world needs teachers, and not just any teachers, great teachers. Teachers who know how it feels to once have not been great in their area of expertise. Teachers who can make fields that seemed out of reach for so many accessible to them. This is a God given chance for you to help others out there like you. Do you know how many lives you will change? So you can continue to sit there and feel bad for yourself, or you can get up and do what's necessary. You have the opportunity to learn how to fall in love with that which you want to do, to transition from desire to art to devotion. No one wants to chase anymore. Everyone wants to be chased. But the chase changes you. It forces you to become someone worthy. It builds your confidence because you've had to earn your place. No one can take that away from you because you know where you began. It's hard to know that you're undeserving, but the very thing that tells you you are undeserving is teaching you that there is nothing ultimately that you're undeserving of. If you put your mind to it, it can be yours, it will be yours, it is inevitable. Just like there is no one undeserving, there is nothing out of reach. You're going to be fine. Your lover will be kind to you, I promise. So don't give up.